Greetings everyone, Professor TJ Wilkins here, and in this tutorial I am going to show you how to make a business card in Adobe InDesign. You'll need one professional photo of yourself and one or two self-brand logos. The logo should represent you as a professional. All right, let's get started. I have a Mac computer, so to access Adobe InDesign, I'm going to go to scroll down to Applications, and here's Adobe InDesign. I'm using the 2021 version. All right. Okay, well, there's different ways to go about opening a document. You can click Create New. In this case, though, I'm going to go to File, select New Document, and then select Print. Scroll down, select View All Presets, then scroll down to US Business Card. There we go. And right now I want to see what the document would look like if I was to create it. So to do that, select Preview. And there it is. This is the document right here. I haven't created it yet though. But as I make the change the preset details, the changes will show here onto this document. Now that I've selected US Business Card, if I was to change this to inches, you'll see that the inches are the exact standard used for business cards. I want to use the horizontal layout. You can choose between either the vertical layout or the horizontal layout. With that being said, this is good. I'm going to keep it at that. I do want two pages though, because one page will be for the front of the card and the second page will be for the inside of the card. So I'm going to change this to 2. Then facing pages, deselect that. Facing pages is for if you're creating a magazine or if you're creating like a book. And with the facing pages, the pages are placed side by side for printing. In this case, we don't need that. So deselect facing pages. Okay, let's see here. Columns, I only need one column. And the column gutter is pretty much the spacing between each column. And since I only want one column, I'm just going to change this to 0. I don't need anything else for that. Okay, so after you're done setting the column gutter, scroll down to the margins. Right now, as you can see, this is the margin right here. This is a bit too deep. I don't want it to be half an inch in. In this case, for the type of business card I'm going to create for the front page or for the front of the card, I don't want margins, but just for you to see, as I adjust the margin, see, it gets adjusted on the image in the background. But in my case, though, I don't want any margin, so I'm just going to change this to 0. And then I want to make all the settings the same. So I change that to 0. And let's check out the bleed. So with the bleeding, when you print out a business card, if you put any images that touches the edge of the business card, it's good to have a little bit of a bleed, because if you don't, what happens is it creates, the image creates like a white border around the card that most likely is very unattractive. So it's great to create the artwork a little bit bigger than the business card itself. Therefore, for the amount of the bleed, it's good when it's about 1/16 of the amount of the actual size of the document. So here's the card right here. Bleed is going to be a little bit bigger than that by like in the 16th of the amount. So that's what is the 16th? Oops, got to do a little bit of math, y'all. That's 0.0625. Yep. Okay, and I want it to be the same all the way around. So I'm just gonna click on this link chain icon right here and make it all the same. Now you see this red mark? That's the bleed area. So I'm gonna use that as a guide when I'm adding in my artwork. I am good to go. So I'm just gonna click create. I already have a clear idea of exactly what I want to do for the business card. If you would like to do something different, it's good to sketch everything out on a piece of paper, or you can use frames to plot out exactly how you want your images to be placed into the document. Using frames to create a layout is super easy. Go over to the Tools panel on the left and select the Rectangle Frame tool. And I am putting an image of my professional image on the left side of the card and one of my logos at the top right of the card. So first, here's the first frame. Click on the far left and drag down. Here's my first frame. And I made my frame large enough to consider the bleed area around the card. And then the second frame is going to feature my business card, well, my logo. I have a logo that I want to place right up here. And actually, I don't need to put it in the bleed area. I don't know why I did that. I'm going to do it over again. Command C to remove, and I'm going to start from here. Yes, so I want my logo to fit within this space right here. And this kind of goes into the second frame, the first frame actually. So I can adjust that. To adjust it, go to the selection tool, and I'm just bringing this in a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. Now I can go to the first frame, click on it, go to File, and Place. And I want to place these two photos. So the first one is my professional photo, holding down the Shift key and selecting, well, this photo right here. Click Open. And once I do that, as you can see, the image is loaded onto the cursor. If I use my arrows, I can toggle between the two images, right? So the first image I want is the professional picture. I have that here on the cursor, and I can just click into this module, and whoa, it is super large. I'll go back and fix it later. And then the second, I am dropping it into second, the second frame. And once again, that's really large. No problem. So for this one, I can click onto the frame with the image in it, and then go to Object, Fitting, Fit Content to Frame. And there you go. That's much better. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Click on the frame, go to Object, Fitting, Fit Content to Frame, and there you go. In this case, I'm starting off with the picture. I have a picture of myself to place on the front of the card. So to get that, go to File, scroll down to Place. There's two files I'll need to select. This picture right here, and then the second file I'm selecting is the logo over here. So I'm holding down the Shift key and then selecting the image, these two images. Press Open. Notice that the images are loaded onto the cursor. If I was to press the arrows, it cycles between the images. The first image is my picture, the second is the logo. So let's start off with the picture. To place the image, I would need to click on the far right, drag all the way down to create a frame. And there it is. Now, I used the bleed guide to place in the image. When this card is printed though, the card is only going to print from here. So the rest of the image is on the outside, is in the bleed area, and I'm okay with that. Now, the second image is also on the cursor. I want to place it at the top of the card. So to do that, click down and I'm dragging to create a frame for it to go into. And there it is. This is a bit too large though. I don't want it to be this large, so I can easily adjust it. As you can see, there's this, I call it the CD, the CD shape in the middle of the image. When I click on that and drag, I can move the image around. The frame though stays in place, but I can move the image within the frame when I click onto this circular disc like CD shape. So now that I've clicked on that, here's the red line represents my image. I want to shrink this down so that it's a little bit smaller. In fact, I'm going to do it from the side. And let's spread it out a little bit more. And I'll shrink it a little bit. You can also move a frame around as well. So if I was to click on the outside of, if I clicked away from this circular shape, I'll be able to move the frame. However, I don't need to move the frame as of yet. I'm only concerned about the image itself, so I can play around with that and get it to exactly what I want it to be. I'm going to keep it like this for now. If I do decide to change the size, I will. But as far as the frame though, I do want the frame to fit the size of the image. So to fix that, go to the top menu, select object, scroll down to fitting, and fit frame to content. And there you go. Now my frame and the content is the same size, and that's what I wanted. So far I have my card, my picture within the card, and I have a logo up here. If you don't have a logo, that's fine to place in this area. That's fine. You could use the text tool to draw out a frame and type your title within this top frame. Whoops. I just realized that I wanted to use a different color in the background for the card background, but that's okay. I can easily fix this. So to do that, go to the tools panel on the far left and select the rectangle tool and go down to the fill and let's change it to a different color. I want something that's kind of peachy, like a nice soft peach. Okay, this is good. All right, click OK. And then I'm clicking on the far left and dragging all the way down to create a frame that covers the full card. And I'm using the bleed area as a guide. So there we go. The box is now set. I do want to make it a little bit bigger to fit more within the bleed area. So let's just first, of course, select the selection tool, or you could just press V on your keyboard to select it. And let's make this a tad bit bigger. I think I'm good. As long as it's in the, oops, Command Z, made a little mistake. When the screen moves, you can easily set it by hitting Command 0 and it gets everything back in place. That's Command or Control 0 on your PC, Command 0 on a Mac. All right, so now I placed this card, but the problem is, well, I placed this frame, but the problem is that it's blocking everything and I don't want that. So how to fix it? Easy. make sure that the properties panel is open. And by the way, I did not state this in the beginning, but I'm going to state it now. Usually the set panels that are open in InDesign are the properties pages and the CC libraries. If they're not open, go to Windows at the top of the screen and scroll down and select what you need. Right now, properties is already checked. And pages, I have pages. Well, I don't have pages selected here, but pages are automatically in the panel, so I'm good. So whatever panel you would like to be visible, just select it in the Windows menu and you'll be fine. Okay. Now that I've drawn out this shape, like I said before, it's blocking everything. So to fix it, go to the properties panel, scroll down to arrange and click send to back. And there you go. Okay, so now I have the background that I want. And also in regards to, like I stated earlier, in regards to the image that I have here, it was saved as a PNG. So whatever image I put behind it, it shows through. It's with a PNG file, it doesn't save the background, it just saves the actual image, which makes it great for what it is I'm doing right now. All right, all I need to do now is to add the text within this document. So go to the far left, click on the type tool. Then within the document, I want to create a frame, a text box frame that I can type within. So click and drag to create a box. I don't need to have this outside of the card itself. I don't need this in the bleed area. So okay, in this text box, I'm gonna put my title, my professional title, and my motto at the bottom. So my title is, my profession is bad boss. Okay, now. I'll keep this professional, y'all. I'll keep it professional. So it's fashion and technical designer. Well, technical professor. Technical design professor. Let's see, let's fix this so it's more centered. In the properties panel, I can choose the centered option. And then also, let's play around with the font. I want something that's a little bit more, I don't know, let's see. What options do I have here? Okay, no, not that. That's kind of interesting. Maybe. Okay, culture, comma, confidence, and creativity. All right. That's it. That's all I want. But I don't like how far like spaced out this is. So I can go back in and change the location. First, I'm going to bring this up a little closer and then click here and bring it down a bit. Yeah, this I like. You can definitely play around with this to whatever you want it to be. Right now, because I just like to pick around with things, I kind of feel like this is too big, so I'm going to select it and make it a little bit smaller, maybe 11 points. I like what I see so far. To zoom out, press Command minus or Control minus on the keyboard, and I can now see what I've done so far. And so now I have fashion technical design professor, fashion designer, culture, confidence, and creativity. And if I want to see what this looks like without the frames around it, I can go to view, overprint preview, and this is what it looks like. The area that is shaded, that's the bleed area. So that would not show up on the card. This is the card itself. I'm looking at it. I'm still not too happy with it. So I'm going to play around with the logo that's up here and then also with the text because I'm still not too happy with what it looks like. So I'm going to go back to it again and play to how I want it to be. Go up to view and deselect the deselect the overprint preview. And let's add some adjustments to this so it's how I want it to be. Finally, after playing around for like forever because I'm so indecisive, I found a layout that I'm happy with in regards to the font. So, all right, let's see how this looks. In the view window, go up to the view menu, click on that, and overprint preview. There we go. Okay, I'm good. I'm happy with that. Now we can work on the inside of the card. Woohoo! All right, on the far right, select pages. And as you can see, the top one is the top of the card, the front of the card, and the second one I'm using for the inside of the card. Double click on the second card, and there it goes. Here's the screen for it. Right now it's blank. Now, this is a little bit different. For this card, for the inside of the card, I do want a margin. I do want a margin for the inside of the card. So unlike the first card that doesn't have a margin, this card is going to have a margin. To do that is really easy. Now that the card is selected, go to properties. And where it says margins, where it says 0, I can switch that to 0.025. Let's see what that looks like. And make all the settings the same. Okay, we can make this a little bit bigger. There we go. I like 0.0625. Okay, this is great. So the red area on the outside, once again, is the bleed. And this line right here now is my margin. I'm placing all of the artwork for the inside of the card inside of this lovely margin that I have right here. On the left side, let's place a logo. To access the logo, go to File, Place, and I'm using my third logo for this. Open, and now the logo is loaded onto the cursor. I can just place where I want it to go. I want it to go right here. Up. There we go. There it is. And let's see here. I do want to add the content for my contact information on the side. So, but I'm going to play a little bit on the left. So let's get the line tool to separate it. And let's do something a little bit funky. I'm going to do a zigzag. Well, no, I'm going to do a slanted line like that. Okay. I like that. And to adjust it, select the direct selection tool and bring this down a little bit. I'm keeping everything within the margins that was created. There we go. Great. And with this, let's change it up a bit. I'm going to, I selected the direct selection tool. Well, the selection tool, the direct selection tool is the second one. The first one is the selection tool. I selected that and I want to slant this just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more fun. and select the pen tool, and let's do some jazzy thing down here. I don't know why I want to do the jazzy stuff, but I'm gonna do the jazzy stuff. And Command C. Now it has a fill in it. I don't want it to have a fill, so let's remove the fill. And to remove the fill, on the keyboard, the forward slash key, I can just press that and that removes the fill. And now with the zigzag line I created, I want to make it a little bit more, a little less intense. So to do that, I can change the stroke size. I wonder if I can make it 0.5. 0.5. Okay, that should work. And the stroke, actually, the color changed. I want the stroke to be black. Currently, it's like this beige color. So to do that, I can just go to the default stroke. And if I wanted to turn down the opacity, I could. Just a little bit. There we go. This is good. Let's slant it a little bit. And let's make this a little bit bigger. There we go. There we go. I don't mind that it's outside of the margin because the picture is right here. The picture itself is still within the margin, so I'm good. All right, so here's a little cool little jazzy thing I have happening on the side. And then over here, I'm just gonna add in my contact information. And you can do this however way you want. You can use the icons of the for the address and social media and all of that. I'm not doing that though. I'm just keeping it simple. So in the far left, select the type tool and create a frame. Now, right now you can't see the frame that I created because it's still in the preview, the overprint preview mode. So I'm going to cut that off. There we go. Now you can see all of the frames and everything that was drawn before. Here it'll be my address and most likely the phone and email and website and whatever else you want to place here, social media. Let's decrease the size a little bit. And I want this to be centered. There we go. And of course, you're going to add more information in here, but I just wanted to do this in a way that you can get an idea of what's going on. And let's bring this down a little bit so it's a bit more centered. I'll just leave it here for now. If I was to turn on the overprint preview, this is what it looks like. The inside of my card is pretty simple. And then of course you can just fill in all of your information in the section with whatever font that or you deem fit. All we need to do now is save the work and then create a file package. Now, what's the file package? Let's say you're working with, or you're working, on a team and you need to send this file for somebody else to work on it. The file package makes it so that all of the fonts and all of the information that is needed for this file is linked within the package so that when the person goes to work on the file, nothing's missing. Of course, your workmate or your team partner is going to love you for this if they open the files and everything is there. Because honestly, if you send your work to somebody for them to do the work and everything's missing, you could get your ass handed to you. I've seen it happen. So it's good to create a file package, okay? And to do that is really easy. The first thing you want to do though is save your work. So go to File, select Save, and I'm going to save this onto my desktop. So let's just switch this to my desktop. And the title, I'm calling this, well, this is an assignment that I'm doing, so I'm going to save it as my last name, underscore, and you can save this as whatever it is that you need it to be, IN underscore assignment 9. And that's that. And format is InDesign 2021 document. Okay, so save. You know what though? No, leave it at 2021. It should be fine. Okay, click save. I was thinking maybe to save it to a later version because that way, if I was to send this document to somebody who does not have 2021, they'll be able to open the document. But I'm going to keep it at 2021. If you need to switch it to something that is a little bit later, that's fine. Okay, click save. Now let's package this and then we're done. So go back again to file, scroll down to package. I'm just checking to see if there's any issues. So it says links and images, 3 links found, 0 modified, 0 missing. Let's see here. 0 inaccessible. That means everything's good. Everything's good to go. So click package and my copy fonts. Yes, I want this to be copied. Link the graphics, excuse me, of course. Update the graphic links in package. Good. I don't need to select these two. Let's see. Include IDML. Yes, please. Include PDF. Yes, of course. I'm going to keep it at high quality. And then here's my title right here. I already have it. I already have the name of my document in here. And I'm saving it to my desktop and I click package and okay. And it's good to go. I am done. I saved it as a package. Okay, guys, so here's the work I saved, right? This is the folder. So if we were to click on that, let me bring it to the center of the screen so you'll know this is what I'm talking about. If you click on the file, this is the package file. It has everything. Here's the document fonts, the links, the file itself, different version of the files actually, so I can open it in an older version if need be. And then here's the PDF of the work. So if I click on the PDF, here's the card. And let's scroll down. And here's the back of the card. Isn't it so awesome? I love InDesign. Right. And that concludes this video. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Have a good night or a great day or maybe a wonderful afternoon or possibly a good morning. Bye, everyone.